feel about the New York Jets this year with Aaron Rodgers, man? Because him getting injured 3 plays into last year, bro, like I just felt was some absolute BS from the football gods.
Yeah.
Going into a second season with the Jets, fully healthy, are they a playoff team with A-Rod at the helm?
Yeah, I mean, man, it definitely sucked last year. I mean, I remember watching that Monday night game, like excited Bills Jets Monday night week 1, Aaron Rodgers, first game
Comes
with
out
the
with the
Jets.
flag on
Yeah,
9/11. It was such
bro.
an
You know what I'm
iconic
saying?
moment. Like,
Yeah, like
and let
I
me ask you
definitely
this.
thought.
I don't
Yeah,
mean to
sure.
cut you off, but like when Aaron Rodgers first got traded to the Jets and he was getting hyped up throughout training camp and the hard knocks, I just had this weird intuition that, this just feels too good to be true, man. And then he gets injured 3 plays in, like,
Yeah, it definitely sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because if he stays healthy, that defense was really good last year. So if he stays healthy, I have no doubt in my mind that that's a playoff team. And you turned out to see how the Bills ended up looking last year. The Dolphins ended up looking last year. The Jets definitely would have been a playoff team. So I think if staying healthy, they are for sure a playoff team. They went out and they added, Tyron Smith. I understand he is injury prone, but when healthy, he's pretty solid. Mike Williams finally got a receiver too, alongside Garrett Wilson, that big body receiver that they so desperately needed there in New York. So I think if he can stay healthy too, he could be really good because he doesn't drop anything. Javon Kinlaw as another guy that potentially could be a rotational guy for them that could come in and take some snaps away. Solomon Thomas is another one that they are bringing back on a 1 year deal. So they have some pieces around that defense that to keep those guys going. It's really just about the health. Brees Hall, one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in football, still holding on, still doing his thing. So yeah, man, the Jets, if healthy, is for sure a playoff team. I don't even need to talk too much longer about that. I feel like that's kind of just obvious. Like Robert Saleh, that culture he's had there, and that he's built in New York is amazing. And it's just unfortunate that the Jets just are so unlucky as an organization. Like they just continue to just somehow, even with getting the Aaron Rodgers, just somehow to still be unlucky. So hopefully this is the first year where that starts to change because I think if it can, they will be really good. And I'll admit it and I'll say it. I want to see the Jets in the postseason. Like MetLife lit up in all green on a primetime game. That would be tough. So football guys, if you're listening, please keep the Jets healthy.
and the thing with the Jets that makes them such a polarizing team to talk about is because it's so Aaron Rodgers centric. You
Yeah.
feel me? Everybody they went out and got last year was mainly because Aaron Rodgers one of them, including getting Nathaniel Hackett, who's the worst offensive coordinator in the league. And pretty much, Aaron Rodgers is carrying this dude. He's pretty much carrying this team. And he came out and said a few days ago that, if he doesn't perform, it's raps for everybody. Everybody's going to get fired. He's probably going to have to hang it up. I believe the Jets win the AFC East this year as long as he stays healthy. Because last year, I remember they lost to the Raiders. They should have won that game. You feel me? They lost to the Chiefs. Zach Wilson played the best game of his career in that game. And then he ended up fumbling the football late. And Kansas City ended up still in the game away. So there definitely was about 3 or 4 games that the New York Jets lost just solely not having Aaron Rodgers impacted. Aaron Rodgers, where do you rank him among quarterbacks in the National Football League? Is he a top 5, top 10 QB?
I think right now it would be top 10. I don't think you could put him in the conversation in the top 5. I still think even at his older age and even coming off injury, when he comes back, he can be top about that 11, 12, 13 range, 10 range. Because the year before he did dip in his last year in Green Bay, it wasn't the best. So you can't quite put him top 5, but I definitely think he's still in that 10, 11, 12, 13 range for sure.
Yeah, and I like Robert Saleh. And it's really strange because normally when you have a head coach going into the fourth season and they've had 3 losing seasons prior, they're not it. It doesn't take too long to figure out who somebody's true colors really are. But he hasn't had a quarterback. And they missed
Yeah.
on Zach Wilson so badly that they had to force themselves to say, man, maybe there's still a little something in them. And It obviously wasn't. And with
Yeah,
having Aaron Rodgers there just is a different confidence in that building. You feel me? Like before you went injured, everybody was like, "Man, we got 12." And even when they won that game against Buffalo, some way somehow, the coaching staff still didn't sleep that night. Juan Gotti, like nobody slept that night because they knew the season was wraps, not having him there. So
yeah,
how many games do you see them winning? Because I think they are a 11-win team. I don't think the AFC East is going to be good. I think the Dolphins are destined for a decline. I think the Buffalo Bills, like they'll still be around the 10-win team, but they lose a lot on defense, and I don't know how good they're going to be offensively. Losing Stephon Diggs, you got Keon Coleman, you still got Josh Allen there, but I just think this is one of those seasons where we definitely see the Jets end up going from, where they were last year, worst team in the division, to the top team in the division, arguably. Well, Patriots are worse than them, but I just think this is a season where New York Jets fans finally have a season to rejoice. Actually have a
yeah.
reason to buy the tickets and maybe host a first round playoff game potentially.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think 10, 11 wins is where they may lie. I think they'll be competing with the Bills for that AFC East. I'm kind of similar with you. I definitely think the Dolphins will take a step back. That doesn't mean that they won't compete for a wild card spot or compete for the AFC East. In fact, but I definitely think if I have to look at the leaders right now, I may even put I ain't gonna put them over Buffalo just yet, just because Buffalo I think still with Josh Allen at the helm, they still gonna be really good. Keon Cole coming over to kind of replace that Stephon Diggs exit could be really good for them too. So I think it's between them and the Jets, the Bills and the Jets, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets come out on top. Yeah, sure.